Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are looking at the hijacking of Bus 174 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which took place on the 12th of June 2000. Sandro Barbosa do Nascimento was born on the 7th of July 1978 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. However, he had a difficult upbringing and as a child saw his mother murdered when he was 8 years old. He then ran away and lived near Candelaria Church, a church in the centre of Rio de Janeiro built between 1775 and 1811. In the early 1990s, the area developed a high crime rate, with children forced to pickpocketing and robbery to survive as they were homeless. Nascimento witnessed at the age of 15 the Candelaria Church massacre. Taking place on the 23rd of July 1993, 8 homeless people, including 6 children, were murdered by members of the Brazilian police after children threw stones at police cars. Others were wounded outside Candelaria Church. Despite accusations that as many as 50 police officers were involved in the murders, only 2 police officers, Marcos Emanuel and Nelson Cunha, were prosecuted for the massacre, with both Emanuel and Cunha given life sentences. However, survivors of the massacre struggled in later life, with a social worker tracking the survivors of the massacre. It was found that a combined 39 of the homeless survivors were either killed by police in revenge killings or were murdered in unrelated events. One child who was shot several times and wounded testified against Emanuel and Cunha and was forced to leave Brazil in order to save his life. Nascimento would later admit that this massacre was a motivation behind the hijacking of Bus 174. On the 12th of June 2000, 21-year-old Nascimento boarded public bus Onibus 174 at Jardim Botanico, a wealthy neighbourhood of Rio de Janeiro north of Ipanema and Leblon, and in the south zone of Rio de Janeiro. Nascimento had a .38 caliber revolver and intended to rob passengers of their money, but did not intend to kill anyone. He was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. At the time, Bus 174 was a route in Rio de Janeiro from Central do Brasil, a major railway station in Rio de Janeiro and the last stop of Rio de Janeiro's railway network, connecting with Rio de Janeiro's subway and bus station, with the bus heading towards Gavea, an affluent neighbourhood in the south zone of Rio de Janeiro. The bus route takes approximately 90 minutes and departed Central do Brasil at 2:10 p.m. Upon boarding the bus at 2:25 p.m, Nascimento announced that he intended to rob passengers, and a passenger signalled a vehicle from the Rio de Janeiro military police that an armed robbery was taking place on board the bus, leading police to intercept the bus at 2:40 p.m, with the driver and conductor escaping through a window as well as numerous passengers escaping through the back door of the bus remained stationary, with police, TV news crews and civilians surrounding the bus. As a result, 11 passengers, excluding Nascimento, were left on board the bus and remained hostage. Nascimento assured that he would not kill anyone, but demanded new weapons, including 2 grenades and a new bus driver, so that he could escape, as well as 1,000 Brazilian reais, threatening to kill a hostage at 6 p.m. if his demands were unmet. At 3:50 p.m, Nascimento fired warning shots at journalists and police, but no one was hurt. Hostage Luciana Cavallo had the gun of Nascimento placed against her head, with Nascimento taking her to the front of the bus and telling her to drive the bus, which she could not do. He then fired the first shot against the bus window, designed to intimidate police officers outside of the bus. At 4:02 p.m, 35-year-old Carlos Leite Faria jumped out of a window and was arrested, believing to be Nascimento. Passenger Willians de Moura was released at 4:30 p.m. and insisted that Nascimento was screaming and high on drugs. With his demands unmet, Nascimento fired his revolver and told police that he had shot hostage Janaína Lopes Neves, with other hostages ordered to act as if Neves had been shot. In reality, Neves was alive and was made to write with her lipstick on the windows of the bus that he's, Nascimento, going to kill us at 6 o'clock, and that he has a pact with the devil. Passenger Damiana Nascimento Souza, who had suffered 2 strokes prior to the hijacking, said that she felt sick and was having a 3rd stroke, leading Nascimento to release her at 5:15 p.m. Souza was taken to Miguel Couto Hospital in Leblon in Rio de Janeiro. At 6:50 p.m, Nascimento exited the bus and used Gisa Firmo Goncalves as a human shield, with an armed officer with a submachine gun approaching Nascimento from behind. Realizing that he was being followed, Nascimento turned towards the officer before jerking away from the officer. The officer fired 2 to 3 warning shots at Nascimento while they continued to advance towards him. One of these shots struck Goncalves in the face. Nascimento then proceeded to shoot Goncalves to death, firing 3 shots at her in the back. Goncalves was taken to Miguel Cotto Hospital but was later pronounced dead. The officer's shot at Goncalves was later ruled to be unintentional in court. Police officers converged on Nascimento and the corpse of Goncalves, with both on the ground. With the remaining shots having hit Nascimento, police officers converged on Nascimento and the corpse of Goncalves, with both on the ground, with Nascimento wounded and immobilized but alive. He was taken into custody with members of the public trying to lynch him. However, taken into a police vehicle, Nascimento died shortly thereafter of asphyxiation. Now, how Nascimento died remains controversial. It is not believed that he committed suicide, and there are assertions that Nascimento was killed by police as revenge for the bus hijacking. His aunt Julita Rosa do Nascimento, social worker Yvonne Bezerra, and his grandmother Dona Elsa da Silva insisted that Nascimento could not have killed anyone, but police of Rio de Janeiro insisted that they were protecting themselves in killing him, and that he had broken a police officer's arm, was aggressive, and tried taking a gun from one of them, leading them to asphyxiate and ultimately kill him. The police officers who took Nascimento into custody were not found guilty by a jury of the murder of Nascimento, and potentially, and debatably, sadly, no one really cared that this homeless bus hijacker and murderer was himself murdered with no fair trial. The corpse of Goncalves, who is pictured here while she was held hostage, was returned to her native Fortaleza in the northeast of Brazil. She was buried in the Bom Jardim cemetery, with 3,000 people attending the former teacher's funeral, which was held on the 14th of June 2000. In Brazil, funerals and burials frequently take place the day after the death has occurred as a cultural normalcy. Nascimento's funeral, however, was the polar opposite of Goncalves, and he was buried as a homeless person in a shallow grave at Cemitério do Caju in the north zone of Brazil, one of the largest cemeteries in Brazil and the largest cemetery in Rio de Janeiro. Only one person attended his funeral, which took place on the 14th of June 2000, his aunt, Julita Rosa do Nascimento. In 2002, Bus 174, a documentary, was released on the bus hijacking and the first movie directed by José Padilla. The documentary gained excellent reviews, winning an Emmy Award for Outstanding Cultural and Artistic Programming in 2005, the Amnesty Award at the International Documentary Film Festival, Amsterdam, which is held in the Netherlands, as well as a Peabody Award. Moreover, the 2008 movie Última Parada 174, Last Stop 174, was released, dramatising the hijacking with a fictionalised account of Nascimento, with the movie chosen as Brazil's representative for the Best Foreign Film at the 2009 Oscars. However, it was not nominated. The movie is available in its entirety on YouTube, but it is in Brazilian Portuguese. Bus Route 174 was rebranded as Bus Route 158 in November 2001, before being changed to 143, and then finally to Goncalves 5 in February 2016, which remains the number of the route. Bus Route 174, as a number, is no longer used in Rio de Janeiro. A similar quasi-copycat attack occurred on the 20th of August 2019, when a bus was taken hostage with 37 people on board, with the bus taken hostage on a bridge over Guanabara Bay, which connects Rio de Janeiro with Niterói. In this, the hijacker, William Augusto da Silva, was armed with a toy gun before being shot dead by police snipers. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to inform yourself of when new videos come out. Also, why not hit that like button and leave a nice comment? It helps more than you know, and your support is truly appreciated. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, have an amazing day, and remember the truth is always more interesting than fiction.